Rich, the Breeze-Up Sales, not a relatively new concept. You are known as the king of the Breeze-Ups. Am I going to get it right? More often than not. From the outside looking in, you think of this, you're buying off the shelf here, ready-made race horses, some of the guessing removed. Is that the case?
Yeah, it is. Look, as you say, we've been extremely lucky at the sales. I mean, the last 3 years we've had 2 Group 1 winners out of it, Platinum Queen and Perfect Power. And numbers-wise, we've bought a lot of winners, a lot of stakes winners. I think we're top of the list on every front. I wouldn't regard myself as a big purchaser, but we buy a few every year, and we've been very lucky, so it works.
Are some of these horses that you vetted as yearlings, that you looked at as yearlings, that were on your radar back in the autumn?
It is amazing, and modern computers there, we can get the notes on what they were like as yearlings. We can see which way they've gone, and I'm afraid I'm a bit of a tough taskmaster. Is why didn't we buy them as yearlings, if that makes sense? And generally it's probably cost. They probably cost more than we wanted to give, or there was faults. So it is in modern technology amazing how you can go through your notes and compare the yearling, and then we can just push a button and we can see what they're like 6 months later. But as I say, it's been a lucky hunting ground for us, and long may it continue.
And how important is the actual breeze to you, with the time that they record?
It's getting to the stage there now for the vendors. They've got to do a good time to really ring the bell. I mean, a lot of them have different preparations, you know, different farms do different things, and you get to know, and you can look at the individuals to see, you know, what sort of prep they've had, and some vendors always do a good time, some vendors don't do a good time, you know, but they only canter up. But it is getting a little bit more pressure on the vendors to do the times now, because if they do the fastest times, they generally sell well if they vet well, you know.
And what's the market like? You're at the Craven Breeze, which is one of the high-end, some eye-watering prices paid, but what was the general health of the market?
Yeah, you would say that it was tough for the vendors, unless you got into the top bracket. Now you've got to respect, a lot of these horses cost 100, 200 and maybe even 300, so they cost a lot of money. And I think the vendors would have had a tough time. The top end is always strong, so if you had the right individual, did the right time, you got well paid. But I think there was a bit of a cliff, and maybe a few of them just fell off it, which I feel for them. This is their way of making a living, and they need to sort of ring the bell 1 or 2 times just to keep the whole operation going, you know.
We're at Doncaster Sales Day on the Wednesday, but for you and the Muscle Bank team, your buying team, that actually begins a couple of days earlier.
Yeah, Peter, Mouse and Robin started going around them on Monday. It's been a little bit tough this year now. I'm sure we had a gap day where we could view, so I sent the lads in on Monday to get round the sort of pedigrees, if that makes sense. And just to look at the individuals, and then they had a practice breeze, so they had a little look at that, and then the actual breeze was 8:30 on, let me get the days right, what day was it? Tuesday morning, 8:30. Yeah. So a lot of horses to breeze up there, over 200 horses, so you can imagine it took a fair while to get up there. Then they came back, and I came in probably about 1 o'clock yesterday, and they had a list of about 40, 45 for me to have a look at. I mean, just a quick look round. Now we've had to vet them this morning, so we're still undecided which way or what interest we're trying to show in each individual, and plus the price as well. But it's made it a bit tougher for the purchasers. You know, there's a lot of work being done this morning just before the sale.
We're going to take a look at one horse on the list, Richard. It's lot 77. What's attracted to this? Is it the pedigree, the breeze? Why is he potentially on your radar?
He's by a sire that we've been lucky with, Colt Glory. We bought the Platinum Queen, Midland Park. We breezed. She was bought out of the Breeze-Up, and Roger, who we bought a lot of winners off, he's recommended him to us as well, but he did a nice breeze. He's a big scopy horse. He's not your typical Donny one, but we liked him. We liked him as an individual. We've had a look with the sire, and hopefully we can get a chance of trying to buy him, you know.
And you mentioned he's been vetted already. That's something, the process you go through for every horse that you're potentially bidding on.
Well, literally, what time we know? We're 9:30. And literally, we've just got the results of the vetting, all the X-ray scopes and everything, and he's got a tick. So we are interested in him, but depends what he makes.
Rich, here he is. Just looking in, what is it that you really like?
To be honest, he's a bit of size and scope about him, and a great loose walk. You can see as he's walking there, he makes it look easy. You know, it's I'm not saying it's like dancing, but you know, some people are good dancers. They say if they can walk, they can run. You know, and conformation-wise, he's pretty straight. You know, everything's where it should be. The legs are in the right position, but. Another thing I do like is he carries his tail. You just see when his tail, he just swings a bit, you know, and I like to see horses. It means they're using themselves and they're athletes. It doesn't make them go fast, but it's something I like to see.
Does he look like he'd be ready to go relatively early?
He's quite a big horse. It would depend on when you really step him up and ask him whether he just holds himself together. You know, he is quite a big horse. But he's fairly set, as you can see. He's level there, so hopefully he won't grow again. He's big enough, but just a good, nice type of horse, and looks a kind sort of fella as well. Good set of ears on him, and you know, just I like him, and plenty of depth in his throat, which is there. It means that you can get oxygen in there, and you know, if you can't breathe, they can't win. But it's just everything about him I like, you know.
Well, here we are, lot 77 that we saw this morning. Happy news, sorry for Richard Fahey. He's heading to Mustley Bank. Richard, you were the Brussock agent, the winning bid. Richard explained what he loved about this colt. What was it for him, about him for you?
I mean, it's a breeze-up sale, so the way he galloped really caught the eye. But physically, I'm sure Richard pointed out to you earlier, he's got great balance. And as you can see, great presence, and temperament is a really important thing. These young horses have to go through a lot when they're breezing, and this horse always showed a great temperament, his breeze. And then when we were seeing him here, you know, he's just come back from the ring and all the rest of it, and look at him, he's great. So temperament and style and presence and the way he galloped. Yeah, look, it's what it's all about, isn't it? It's dreams. You know, this has been a very lucky sale for Sheikh Rashid. Obviously bought Perfect Power here, who Richard trained brilliantly, and he gave us some fantastic days. And actually from the same vendor, so it's no, look, it's what it's all about. Racing's about dreaming, and I think we've got something to dream about with this lad. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think it's very important to know when you're buying and who's going to train them, what you've actually got. Certain horses here would be, you know, horses you get going straight away, and you try and aim for Ascot. The one thing I'd say is I'm not the trainer, he's in charge now, but for me this horse will actually need a little bit of time, and I wouldn't necessarily say that this would be a horse to point at Ascot. I would think he's more of a summer 2-year-old, but we haven't even had that discussion yet, so I'll leave it to him, and he'll probably win the Coventry and tell me I was an idiot.
Yeah, look, I did like the horses, you know. He's the one horse I picked out before the sale, and just delighted to get him. I mean, Richard's got a great record at the Breeze-Up, and it's always good when you see Richard buy one. You think, well, he's done his homework, because Richard is very precise in what he does, and he's been very successful. So, but I would agree with everything he says, so I'm not going to repeat it again. But just delighted He liked him, I liked him, so horse is very lucky.
Richard, what happens now with the colt? He's been knocked down to Shepherd Sheep. Does he head back to Musselbank?
He'll go straight back to us. We'll give him a couple of easy days. It's a big ordeal for them here, but as you can see, he's not really bothered, and he's taking everything great. And then we'll just get him cantering, give him 10 days cantering, let him have a breeze, and he'll decide which route he goes. But look, his breeze was good today. He's had the experience on the race course, so they have an advantage. They've already done things that other 2-year-olds at home haven't done. But look, we'll see. He'll decide, not us, I'm afraid.
Richard, final question to you. You bought Perfect Power here, went on to be a Group 1 winner for Richard. What sort of buzz does that give you as a bloodstock agent when you see them go like?
Yeah, look, you know, it's everything you work for. I started when I was 16 in the business as a stable lad for Reg Hollinshead. To even dream that you'd be buying a horse for somebody like Sheikh Rashid to be trained by Richard, to be there on those big days, it's, yeah, you live, you know, sleep, breathe and dream it. It's everything. It's everything, for whether it's me with my little role, Richard, you know, but somebody like Sheikh Rashid, who's been an enormous supporter of me and the game, to be able to deliver him, you know, that result on the biggest stage, it's, yeah, like I say, it's everything.